Hello, my sweet crafty friends. It's Monique with Grace and Tattered Lace. Today, we're going to put together the new double layer interchangeable oval frame, and I am beyond excited with this piece. We're going to use some dark wax by Behr. I got this at Home Depot. Any dark wax will do, guys, but I like this one. It has a nice color to it. It is kind of inexpensive, and we are just going to coat all of the pieces with this wax. So I'm just using an old chippy brush, just a cheap one. I think it came from Dollar Tree, possibly even Home Depot. Just using that brush and applying it to all of the pieces. All right, and then once you have it done, you're going to take a towel. I'm just using a napkin. Take a towel and buff it out. Kind of take off some of the clumpier parts and just smooth it into that wood. And that is going to help us with the vintage chippy look once we get done with the painting. For those of you that are going to ask why. All right, now I'm using my Dixie Belle paint. Today we're using the colors of Ecru, Bunker Hill Blue, Rustic Red, and Colonel Mustard Yellow. And I'll put the link to my new supplier in the comment section. So those of you that are interested, you can go ahead and find some of this wonderful Dixie Belle paint as well. Anyway, you guys, I just put a nice good coat over all of the pieces. Dried it with my heat tool, and now I'm going to use my Gator sanding tool, and I'm just going to gently go around all of the edges and give it that nice distressed look. And I love the use of the wax underneath the paint. I'm going around it with my sanding tool. It works perfectly and gives it that great vintage look without a lot of extra work. And you can see it just really kind of just peels right off. Look at the detail, it looks fantastic. Okay, so I went ahead and did that on all of the edges. Now the one thing that I did do that I learned after is you can see right there on that big one on the bottom part, I did put some paint on the inside lip. That is not necessary because it actually adds just a hair too much. It takes away a little bit of space for when you put in that insert. Now, the insert still fits in. It just is a little snugger than I wanted it to be. It still works. So if you decide to paint it, you can do it. You're just going to have to play with it a little bit to loosen it up just a little bit. Anyway, I went around all the edges that I felt I wanted that distressing look to. Took a little wipe to dust off the extra sand and dust from that sanding. And now I'm just using my Stick Fast CA thick glue with a little bit of extra Gorilla wood glue in there, just to give it that extra strength, since this could get a lot of wear and tear. I shouldn't say wear and tear, a little handling by taking out those the inserts, and I don't want it to break. So we're just going to layer it together. So the wider piece of that oval part goes on the backing with the skinnier one on top. And look at how great that looks, you guys. This is going to be so awesome to have that one frame and be able to make some interchangeable pieces to change, weekly or monthly or seasonally, whatever you want. And the great part is that those interchangeable pieces would be fantastic for some of the lettering, hand lettering projects as well. All right, now I have, this is the insert. I've done the same thing with the wax. Put it on, buffed it off with my little paper towel, and now I'm using that same ecru paint and making some stripes. Now I did dry it in between the white and the red that I'm using here. So now this is that rustic red by Dixie Belle Paint. And we're doing the same thing. We're taking that sanding tool and going around the edges, revealing that dark wax that's underneath, and look at how amazing that looks. Look how easy that chippy look is with that wax on that board and just gently using that sanding tool. Now if you take a little bit too much off, you can just reapply it, dry it with your heating tool, and then just kind of sand it down again a little bit. I didn't need to do that because I loved how this turned out, you guys. It was just the perfect distressed look for me. All right, now this is the part that goes on the board, the back. This is the gosh, I forget what I called this on the website, you guys. I think it's just a USA flag, patriotic flag. My goodness, I apologize, I cannot recall, but it is in the shop. This and the interchangeable frame are both in the shop. They are sold separately at graceandtighterlace.com. I'm doing the same thing with the flag. I did the wax on the letters as well. So that is just the wax that you saw me apply to the flag. Now we'll buff it off a little. And now we're going to use some of the Bunker Hill Blue paint by Dixie Belle. I really like this paint, you guys, because it has such a great finish that you really only need one coat of paint to get a nice coverage. That is one amazing thing about it. Plus, it comes in some great colors. All right, that's the Colonel Mustard Yellow, and we're going to apply that to the star, which I am applying the wax to first, because we're just going to be consistent and keep the same look going throughout. I'm just going to use the paint and go around the edges, and then we'll do the top of the star. All right, once you got that applied, then we're just gonna dry it with our heat tool and take that sanding block and sand it. Oop, I just threw it. It's hot, you guys, because I used that heat tool on it. I'm trying to delicately handle this star without burning my fingers. You can see it's just kind of peeling off, kind of like a milk paint almost. We'll do the same thing with the flag and the letters. We're just going to glue the letters on there like that, and we're going to finish it off with some detail work. Now, I didn't paint that flagpole or the top of the flagpole. I just left it with that nice wax coat. So it all blends together. All right, now this is just a spacer that goes behind the flag. Kind of gives it that little extra three-dimensional look because I wanted to put some ribbon on there. Okay. Again, I'm using that Stick Fast CA thick. You want the thick version, guys. If you don't get the thick version, it will be too thin and it will not dry properly on you. All right, now I just have a little bit of variety of ribbon. I'm just going to tie it in a little knot here, and we'll attach that to the bottom of that flagpole. Right. Now, let's see what it looks like inside the frame, you guys. Oh, goodness, I forgot. I'm going to apply some Dixie Belle Best Dang Wax in the color of clear over this entire frame just to kind of seal it. I've shared with you guys before, I'm not a fan of Mod Podge and sealing it with the Mod Podge, and so I'm doing it just like you would a piece of furniture if you had furniture. So I'm just putting some wax on, buffing it out, and giving it a good coat that will help protect that paint. It doesn't make it waterproof, but it will help protect it. I did the same thing on this insert. I took that same brush with that wax on it, went over it, and I'm just kind of buffing it off. And you guys, don't laugh, but I am actually laying here in bed doing this voiceover, and Kevin is asleep and he's starting to snore. So if you hear that, that is what that is. And you can laugh about it, yes. All right. Oh my gosh. So cute. Let's see what it looks like now. Oh my goodness. So see how easy it's still, you can see there I put it in and I just popped it out to show you what it looks like. So I did have to push a little hard because of that extra paint that I put on there, but oh, so cute. Now that would look just fine like that, but I wanted to finish it off a little bit more. I'm using that same brush that I applied all the wax to. I did not apply any more wax, and we're just going around the edges of the frame just to give it a little bit more of a distressed look. And if you don't like that distressed look, then by all means, skip this part. I'm just kind of wiping the back off. I got a little on the back that I just don't want it on there, you guys. All right, now we're going to take that same brush. Again, I have not applied any more wax to it. And we're going to go right around the edges of this insert and help blend it all in together. So darn cute. Okay, for those of you that don't like a lot of details, you could finish right here. But I wanted to add a little bit more to this because I just felt like it just needed more pizzazz, I guess. I'm using this little ultra fine detail bottle that I got on Amazon. And I just have some acrylic white paint in there, and I'm using that and going around the edges and giving it some detail on that flag. I just wanted that flag to pop a little bit more. And you can see now that it looked great before, but adding that detail just makes this pop even more. You can see I'm thinking about what I'm doing. Okay, I decided I was going to add some detail to that star as well. I think I'm just doing little dots all the way around. You can see that little piece flapping around. That's the lid that goes on that detail bottle. That will help keep it so that it doesn't clog up on you. All right, now I have one of those little bottles that has black in it, and I'm putting some little dots on the letters, the USA, and I did make a few mistakes. I was able to use a little baby wipe and wipe it off and start over. I took that part out because you didn't need to see that part. the video was already long enough, but I'm still trying to perfect how to use it to kind of do more squiggly lines, but you could definitely do all kinds of good stuff, fun stuff with this. So you can see, added some squiggly lines to that, and I just love how this turned out, you guys. Again, this is on the website, graceandtatteredlace.com. It's the interchangeable oval frame. You guys, if you like this, please give it a sprinkle for me. I'm so excited with it. Thanks for watching.